heard. Hope everything looking good. We in this beer, man. So I'm gonna play the school thing, and I'm it's not new news. I've only heard about it, but I didn't go watch no news as far as the reporting. So I don't know who has and who hasn't, but I definitely want to speak on it. I'm gonna play that now.
We begin this hour in Nashville. This morning, we are learning more about the victims in Monday's mass shooting. Evelyn Dykehouse, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney had their lives cut short, and they were only 9 years old. The shooter also killed Covenant School head Catherine Kuntz, custodian Mike Hill, and teacher Cynthia Peak. We're also learning more about the weapons used during Monday's rampage.
The suspect legally purchased 7 firearms from multiple stores in the past few years. 3 of those guns were used in the attack. They include 2 assault-style rifles and a handgun. CBS News correspondent Janet Shamlian is in Nashville, Tennessee with more. Janet, good morning. CBS News correspondent Janet Shamlian is in Nashville, Tennessee with more. Janet, good morning.
Anne-Marie and Vlad, good morning to you. This was a textbook case, authorities say, responding to an emergency. Police went right in. They did not hesitate, and they went towards the gunfire. That is in sharp contrast
Did everybody
to
sound
what we
disappear?
saw 10 months ago in Uvalde, which was a 77-minute delay before the exterior of the elementary school was breached. We do have that Nashville video for you, but just a warning here that it is graphic.
The kids are all locked down, but we have 2 kids that we don't know where they are.
Okay. About a minute after arriving at the Covenant School in Nashville.
Let's go!
Several officers, including Rex Engelbert and Michael Colazzo, raced inside. Methodically checking classroom to classroom, guns drawn, with the fire alarm blaring.
With me. Hold the door.
Soon, officers pinpoint where the gunfire is coming from.
I think it's upstairs. It sounds like it's upstairs.
When they reach the second floor, they run toward the sound of the gunshots.
What's an LPV?
Then they open fire, hitting the shooter. Police say the suspect's motive is unknown.
I was really impressed that with all that was going on, the danger that somebody took control and said, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Avriana Patton played basketball in middle school with the shooter, 28-year-old Audrey Hale, and says Hale messaged her minutes before the shooting, warning that something bad was about to happen.
And then I screenshot it to my dad, and I was like, do I need to say something? He texts back, yes.
She says she contacted authorities, but it was too late. Other stories from that day are emerging too. Actress Melissa Joan Hart, whose children attend a school close to the shooting, said she and her husband helped a class of kindergartners.
They were climbing out of the woods. They were trying to escape the shooter situation at their school. So we helped all these tiny little kids cross the road and get their teachers over there, and we helped a mom reunite with her children. And I don't know what to say anymore. It is just enough is enough.
And the actress also went on to say that she used to live in Connecticut, not far from the Sandy Hook massacre. So just another example of these shootings, how prevalent they are across the country. Vlad and Anne-Marie?
It really is, Janet. I think it was on Monday, there was a mother who had just been there on vacation who, went to where their press conference was and talked about how she had lived through a shooting. And I know there's a reporter covering the shooting there who also was part of a school shooting in Alabama. Like, this is happening increasingly to people sort of over and over again. I'm stumbling through my words because it's kind of stunning that anyone would sort of live through more than one school shooting. That being said, we are getting kind of more details about the investigation. What are we learning?
Yeah, we had a really detailed briefing on Tuesday from the Nashville Police Department. They talked about the fact that the shooter had purchased 7 guns recently, legally, all in the Nashville area, unbeknownst to the shooter's mother. Also that the shooter was under medical treatment for an emotional disorder. And the police chief at that same press conference lauded the officers who just went in, as we saw there, without warning. The unanswered question right now is the motive. There are pages upon pages of writings that the shooter left behind, and they still haven't been able to sort of drill down on one thing. The school, the church was obviously targeted. They don't believe anyone specifically who was killed was a specific target, but that motive remains elusive this morning.
And what about the officers who ran in there to end the shooting? You know, often they're heading in there and they are outgunned.
Yeah. Textbook. That's the word that a former Secret Service agent to former President Obama used about the response. What they did, he said it could be used as a training video. Both of those officers, 2 of the 5 that were wearing the body cams, have been on the force less than a decade. But they went in and did exactly what they should have done. Again, in contrast to what we saw in Uvalde.
Right. Many lessons learned there. Janet, thank you very much.
Let me just say, man, in 2018, I can't even remember what school shooting it was, but I made that long Facebook post about how at this point in history of the United States, for these things to keep happening is kind of embarrassing, right? With all the technology that we have. And I went extreme with this. And I know people are going to feel some kind of way. First of all, I'm a gun owner. All right. I'm a gun owner. Y'all know what I do for a living, so I'm trained. I know what I'm doing. But I stand on the notion that at this point in history, we do not need lethal force in the hands of anybody outside of military personnel going to war. And I stand on it because I know we have weaponry that can take down humans without the loss of life. So if we made it totally illegal, and like I said, I know this is extreme, right? If we made it absolutely illegal for anybody to operate in any capacity with a lethal firearm outside of people going to war, at the very least, we would have people that yeah, they could take people down, but they can't kill anybody. That goes for police officers too. If everybody was disarmed and they show up to handle something, they can handle you without killing you. It happens all the time. You can be taken down. The biggest man that you can imagine can be taken down with force without death being the result. So if we have the technology to do it, the only reason we don't do it is because why? People want their guns.
It's deeper than that.
Go ahead, run with it in.
We live in a violent society in the United States, period, point blank. It's less about what we're using for the violence so much as the gangster mentality of people. And I don't necessarily mean hood people. I mean people, period, in the United States. This is in the country. You can go to the backwoods. Everybody has this.
Everybody gangster.
We bad. We this. We got our guns. We got our this. We literally have a violent culture. So even if you take away the handguns, whatever other weapon is going to be there, it's just going to be replaced. You can take away the weaponry. The people are still going to operate the way that they do. Somebody just said it, you know, what it is. When you have a whole culture of people who operate in the vein of, it's not going to happen to me, and these things are, if it is, I can handle it because I'm big and bad, it doesn't matter what the weapon is. Absolutely. People are going to do it. So that's why I don't necessarily agree with, I mean, if they ban assault rifles or whatever, I'm a handgun owner. I don't own an assault rifle, so it doesn't matter. But the thing I look at when you look at disarming a whole society like ours is the first people to get disarmed is us, people who look like us.
Yep.
And we will be the first people that'll be targeted, even if we're unarmed. So that's why I don't think disarming solves the problem.
I would say this. One thing that disarming does solve is the volume at which you can kill. I don't care how bad you are. You watch video games. Ain't nobody running around with a knife or a bow and arrow dropping several people. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair, but criminals,
I would say
that's it. Forget their weapons legally.
No. I'm saying if if it was so heavily criminalized, like we got to
Like
think
the
about
war on
something.
drugs.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Look at
go.
what happened.
But exactly. I mean, it will. There's no question about it. It would hurt us first. I don't deny it. But what's the solution? Because a cultural shift, a mindset, cultural, that takes generations upon generations, and it will be several generations down the line when we finally stop seeing this. I'm telling you now, disarmament. I'm solution oriented, and I believe in hitting with a heavy stick. I believe that nobody listens until you hit them in the head with a brick. That's just the way. So if we have a society that's so violent, you have to meet it with such an extreme reaction. It's like, give me those.
Agreed.
Give me those.
I'm not quite. Look, I'm not quite sure I agree in disarming the public. You have to understand where we're coming from and where we are today. Mm-hmm. We're coming from. Understand, we are, and I think I said this last week, and I preach this all the time. We are only like what 55 years of civil rights. Mm-hmm. 55 years. 1964. When the year my mother was born is when they implemented civil rights. So you have a whole generation of people who still teach their children, who still have hatred in their hearts, who still have this clouded image of people who are not like them, who are actively going out who are actually going out and doing these shootings, and they're making up excuses for themselves. You understand? So the thing is that you have to call a spade a spade. If you're looking at every black man as somebody being scary or this and other, you got to think about it. This set of people are inherently violent, are inherently savage. We got to stop thinking about this like it's something learned. Some shit is in your DNA. This is years.
It's definitely socialized. Absolutely.
Let me tell you, there's no doubt, and I'm gonna Frank to jump in here real quick. There's no doubt, man. When you guys study the history of humanity, it gets real ugly the further you go back, and you just look around the world, and the further you go back, and you just see the levels of violence in different regions of the world. Like, listen, people need to pick up a book and go look at what was going on in Europe during the supposed Dark Ages. People need to go look at the Maleficorium and what they did when they thought women were witches. Like, you read this stuff, you read the manifestos that gained enough traction to allow people to enact violence without any recourse, and it will make your blood curdle. So I think you make a very good point, man. Some things are so deeply embedded to where it does validate what Chef's saying, to where even if you take guns, you're going to still have people acting out violently. I'm just thinking scale, right? Yeah. I know the damage a person can do with a firearm. So you got firearms and you got bombs, right? Those are the two ways in which to get the most done in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of effort, right? So I'm thinking just logistically how to at least minimize that part. But culturally,
I'll tell you just after Frank go, I'll tell you exactly what to do.
All right, go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
But the thing is, people in general are inherently, I believe, evil. Leave somebody to their own devices, then it's only a matter of time before they become animalistic. You know what I'm saying? It's human nature. You have to be taught to be decent. You got to be taught to be good. You know what I'm saying? You got to be taught to be considerate, to be kind. That has to be taught. To be selfish, greedy, violent, manipulative, that's inherent. You know what I'm saying? You can see a small portion of it in children. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's gonna still be some violence, but that gun in somebody's hand, that gun in Chuck's hand, will make him feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But when Chuck don't have that gun in his hand,
Chuck make pipe bombs.
But he's not gonna be that quick to run into a situation with knowing that he doesn't have the automatic firepower. You know what I'm saying? Because even though humans are instinctively violent or evil, a lot of them are not instinctively stupid
or tough.
That's fair.
Fake tough.
Yeah.
Marcellus Wiley, I don't know if y'all know the football player Marcellus Wiley. He talked about that, and he talked about when he bought a gun, he owned a gun, and how he used to carry this gun around, right? And he said, and I ought to play this clip, man. Maybe I'll go back and edit it into here somehow. And he breaks this down, and he talks about an incident where he was sitting there with a gun at a stoplight. He said first when he bought this gun, he's from Compton. He grew up in Gain, Compton, went to college, came out in the pros, and he was literally walking around with a gun for protection. He said, I really got it to protect myself. I got jewelry, I got money, I got a nice car. I feel like I'm a target, so I got to protect myself. And he says one day he's sitting there, he said he keeps starting to carry the gun more and more and more. And he said he started carrying it more and more and more. He started unlocking it more and more and more. And he just gets to this point where he's taking it back and forth everywhere with him, right? He says one day he has this gun and he's at a stoplight. He's at a stoplight and he's sitting there. And as he's sitting there, this dude is walking toward his vehicle. He said, so he pulls out the gun. He got the gun on his lap and he's ready for anything to go down. He said the dude walks up to the window. He said he looks, he rolls down the window slightly. And he said he's just waiting for anything to go down. He said the dude asks him for directions to where he has to go. And he said he gives the dude directions. And he said when the dude walks off, he said it clicks in his brain that he was so wired and felt so powerful that if he had to, he could, that he was ready to empty a clip through that door at whoever was on the other side just because. And he said, and what if he would have just been like, oh, I felt threatened because the person was on approach, and he would have opened up. Marcellus Wiley is a big black man that plays football in the United States of America. What would have happened when that man would have came forward with that story?
Would have been a problem. Jail.
Done. Go.
So the reason I struggle with it is because you have to look at things like, I'm a sociologist, so I always look at cause and effect. You go back and look at prohibition and look at what that did. Prohibition didn't stop alcohol. If anything, it further criminalized it. And now you had the whole mafia building up around it. So you already have gun runners in your biker gangs and things of that nature running guns. That is just going to explode.
Yeah.
When you go through the process of making things tremendously illegal, that's what you have. You just increase the black market, which increases the violence.
Yep.
So while these people may not be able to legally obtain these weapons, they're still going to get them. These things are still going to happen. In all honesty, one of the ways I think a lot of these problems is solved is by something that happens in the state of Florida. Everybody's on the Florida man, In a lot of places, you have a lot less gun violence because them folks don't know who carrying. So you have people who will go into these powerful situations because they assume they're the only ones with power. But when you're in an area where you don't know who else has power,
everybody holding.
Right.
Grandmama holding.
Exactly. So in all honesty, I think it should be the reverse. We should have a lot more legal gun owners, legal concealed carry permits, people. So you don't know who carrying.
That's a good.
So you don't run up on the wrong folks, because again, this is why these people are doing this in schools, especially elementary schools. They know it's a bunch of children. They're powerless. Of course, there's some other things that have come out about this person. It's now being targeted at LGBTQ community, which I think is completely awful for this particular progress, because now they're trying to say school shootings are caused by LGBTQ folks. And it's like, it's 1% of the school shootings. Stop. Just full stop. But it's definitely one of those things where when you're in a situation where everybody in there got heat, you stay a little cooler.
Yeah, but then you run into an issue with accidental gun usage and things going off. Like, I have a gun.
Well,
But I have a gun, and I rarely carry my gun on me physically. Like I'll have it in my car or I'll have it in my house. But for me to actually carry my gun on my person, I don't feel comfortable with that. You know what I mean? Unless I'm going into like a super weird situation, I really don't feel comfortable with that. But you know, again.
But if more people were responsible gun owners,
man, you got to think about the world.
Permits, actually having taken classes and things of that nature, you stand to have a bit more balance. Now, if you just like, if you here in Georgia where we have just the open carry and people just do whatever, that's BS.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like actual permit holders.
Yeah, you can't. The thing is, you can't. These people don't have sense. That I mean, at the end of the day, you can't count on adults to do the right thing because people just don't have a misconstrued idea of what the right thing is. The right thing for somebody may be to, hey, I need to kill this person right now. Another right thing for another person, hey, I need to just stop this person and just not kill him. And it's so many situations where you can really just talk to people out of weird situations. The thing is that, man, like, in order to have a gun, first of all, I think you would have to go through a mental health check. That just has to be mandatory. And then lastly, if you take a life, your life got to be on the line. Like, you have to understand, if you take a life, it's no time. Your life has to be on the line. And what you're going to court for at this point is seeing, are you going to die or not? You know what I mean? It's like, that's pretty much the case right now. Because at the end of the day, if I shoot you, I kill you, I have to understand that I can't think that I'm going to get away with it. Unless the testimony that I give is full proof self-defense. There has to be an eye for an eye, not these charges that could be more lenient for one group and less lenient for another. No, if you kill somebody, you die. It's just that simple. That's what I think, but you know, who knows?
I do think, man, I do think you make a valid point, man. When you got consequences on the back end of that you know, like the consequences for things, people don't have a fear of consequences. And prison
got too many participation trophies.
Right. And prison, depending on who you are and what happens and where you go to prison, determines how severe that punishment is actually going to be. Because listen, I watch enough prison stories to where, you know, I've heard so many things. And the one thing in some of these institutions, you have to like they want to see your paperwork. They want to know what you're in for. And when they find out you're in for something where you've harmed children or innocent bystanders, or bro, your survival, your life then, I mean, you gotta decide you don't want to be here anymore, or they're gonna make you being here not worth it. You know, but people don't fear that consequence because that seems like a myth to most people. It seems like a myth to a lot of people that if I go to prison, something gonna happen to me. No, bro. But in truth, it depends on where you go. And from, you know, I mean, listen. Like, I give you a good example. Y'all seen I've been showing them videos from Colorado Ped Patrol. The last thing in most of these prisons that a white male wants to be in prison for is doing something to a child, and especially and it's automatically assumed in most prisons that an older white male is in there for violating the minor. It's automatically assumed that that's why they're there. So even if they've been there, one guy was saying them dudes could have been gangsters in the 90s. They could have been gangsters in the 70s. Mm-hmm. But being that they're old men in there, everybody's looking like, what is he in for? He don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? And unless he looks like something that actually did something, it's automatically assumed he's done something to a minor and they treat him as such. So the consequences, they need to definitely go up, man. There needs to be a fear that if I do this, the outcome is not going to be favorable. I'm not going to survive it.
But the school shooting and the guy, you know, carrying a gun because he has a permit in Walmart is a little bit different, because a lot of these school shootings are surrounded by this person having some hatred for that institution, things like that. They're reacting to something that happened to them there. This young lady went into, or I guess her pronoun is they went into this school to shoot because they went there. So it was retaliatory. Most of the school shootings have been retaliatory.
Oh, absolutely. There's always that component. It's always, I was bullied here. They did this to me. Yeah.
So we come back to the social component.
Absolutely.
And they were collecting these guns over years. So, is there a limit to the amount of guns you can buy per year? It's just such a multifaceted issue that I just don't think disarming will do what we think it will do.
How old was the girl?
28.
She was 28 years old. She went to elementary school.
That was some stuff happened to her there, and I guess she went back and.
See, the thing is, you can't make excuses for people like that, because this is the same person, a same grown person who knows to work.
She wasn't.
Well, she took care of herself. She wasn't homeless. She wasn't messed up.
No. She was actually medicated. She was on medication.
Yeah,
Yes.
What was
the bulk of these school shootings, these people have a history of mental illness.
Yeah, again,
like dang near 90% of them.
Man, that reminds me, and I want to scoot to the next topic. That reminds me, I've mentioned this before. I don't know if anybody's seen it. There's a movie called We Need to Talk About Kevin. I'm the movie head. I got this movie library because I've seen so many damn movies. It's just what it is. But the movie is called We Need to Talk About Kevin, starring Ezra Miller. Now, Ezra Miller's a weirdo. We know he got some things pending, like surrounding him. But this movie, he's a good actor. This movie, he's basically a sociopath. His mother, who also has some mental illness, she recognizes it in her son. And the title of the movie, We Need to Talk About Kevin, is because the mother goes to the dad and he's like, we need to have a conversation about our son. But the dad believes that the son is just a teenager going through what teenagers go through. And the dad just kind of ignores it. And the dad and the son have a bond, but the son knows how to manipulate this so-called bond that he has with dad. And he also knows that mother recognizes what it is that's wrong with him. And he kind of plays a mental game with her because he knows that dad isn't going to buy her because dad also knows that something's wrong with her. So I'm gonna get to the point. So this zombie in the movie orders, so the dad teaches him how to shoot a bow and arrow, right? Dad teaches him how to get some archery lessons. They do this together. It's a bonding thing. And the boy becomes exceptional. The boy then orders a bunch of the horseshoe bicycle locks, bunch of them, orders them in bulk. He goes to the school. He tells the parents, ask him, what are you buying this for? And he says, oh, I bought them in bulk because everybody at school's locking up their bikes, and I'm going to sell these in bulk, and I'm going to make one hell of a profit. And it sounds good. That I would believe that if one of my children came to me and said, Dad, this is what I was doing. He takes these locks. Y'all know the only way to get these locks off of anything is a saw. Like, you cannot clamp these locks off. You need a saw. He takes these locks, bolts all the doors in an auditorium. He goes to the balcony of the auditorium, slowly gets his bow ready, and starts shooting into the crowd of students until he runs out of bows. And the doors are locked, so they couldn't go anywhere. He strips naked, waits on the police to come get him. They come get him. They take him off. He goes to jail. And then the movie just basically ends with this dude in prison. His dad done lost his mind, and the mom shows up, and she's the only one willing to visit him because the mom knows it's in his head. He's mentally off, but nobody would listen. So that mental illness component is there. Anybody caught that, man? The movie is We Need to Talk About Kevin. I'm telling you that
that sounds like it sounds like the updated movie. The updated version of that movie is called Jeffrey Dahmer. Because that's pretty much how his mom and dad.
Yeah, like there's something there, and somebody saw it, but another parent is in denial, and you can't be like, I know some parents, we can't see the forest for the trees, and we want to believe our babies is our babies. Your baby could be a monster. Your baby could be a whole monster.
This is that.
I know we're moving on, but I know we're moving on to the next subject. I just want to know, do y'all still believe Kendrick Johnson rolled himself up in that mat? because
come on,
that's a whole different situation. But again, that's
I remember that. Yeah.
I refuse to watch that movie, that show.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it.
See, that's a whole situation. But again, that's the same exact situation.
Right.
Again, as this school shooting. You know what I mean? And in certain situations like this, in that situation, they're turning a blind eye. They're saying, hey, it's suicide.
Right,
Or,
right. Come on.
How is that suicide? You know what I mean? You have to understand, we have to learn, we have to understand that what we honestly have to do is stop holding court cases in our state and try to go in over state lines with our shit, because it's too much of a buddy system here.
Yeah.
We need to have other people with no connections to this or in real heinous crimes. Somebody with no connection, people with no connection of these people, deciding these people's fate. Because if you are relying on your own city, come on, like me in the middle of Tifton, Georgia, is not gonna work. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
because you're the mayor down there. They know you. They love you. You the mayor. Long hair.
They're gonna have to try him at Albany.
Long hair.
Nobody try me at Albany.
He said he can do what he want. He can do what he want.
Way cross.
All right. So speaking of monsters, man, listen. We got a potential monster, man. What happened with what did Johnathan Majors do? Man, listen, man. I hope that it was one of his variants. I know a lot of different people ran that joke. It's not an original joke. I ain't taking it. But man, when I saw it, I was just instantly, very selfishly only thinking about Marvel. I'm like Thanos would never. Thanos would never. Josh Brolin would never. And Josh Brolin got two characters in that bit. He's Cable and Thanos, and he would never mess with. And what is this dude doing? But my real concern is, I wasn't trying to judge as to whether or not he actually did it. My judgment was the situation in and of itself. Could it have been prevented? And by prevented, I go to them red flags. Oh, them red flags. Sheffy came on there and she instantly was like, nah, you can't see all them red flags. Sheffy, why can't we see these red flags? I don't agree, but why can't we see these red flags?
Okay, so red flags, and again, I used to be the one that's like, nah, the red flags always there.
Mm-hmm. You were right then. You were right at that time.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah,
I wasn't until I fell into some situations myself.
Go ahead.
Certain red flags don't appear without certain situations. Just because you can view someone like in their past and look, okay, well, this is how they reacted to a situation. But then when they get with you, they may react completely differently. And you're sitting there like, I didn't see this coming at all. Because I look for red flags. I do. I'm an empath. I'm very conscious of the foolishness I put myself into. So if I see a red flag, I know that red flag when I see it. And then I may stupidly to continue anyway, trying to, make some difference of it. And I stupidly find out that I can't. But in some situations, it's really situational. And you just be sitting there like, whoa, shit. I didn't see that one coming at all. It hits you like this, like the ending of Sixth Sense. Or you sitting there thinking something's happening the whole time. And it's like, whoa, what? So, but not all red flags. Some are situational.
So when let me take another direction. When I say red flags, they're situational, and then there's just you as a person have something in you that makes me question everything. And I say I'm gonna use an example.
Character flaws.
There you go. There's a character flaw that makes me say, ooh, I can see, because then once I see a character flaw, my brain, I do the process, I start running them variables in my head. Mm-hmm. It's like I've always and I've always said that men sometimes, not all the time, or people that hit people, they do something with their physical presence before they ever hit you. And it's hard to peep unless you've peeped it. Like people that hit people are physically imposing. It doesn't mean they're big, doesn't mean they're strong. It means their physical presence they will make it uncomfortable before they ever strike you. A woman will get in your face a little bit more and want to be all up in your face and in your space and getting this close because she's invading that space. And a person that'll do this and a person that'll do that is the same person that'll reach out and tap you. A man will do the same thing. He may not touch you for a while, but he'll back you into that physical corner. He will threaten your physical proximity, and he will shrink you with his physical presence. His voice, his presence will shrink you down, and he ain't never struck you. And if you're just aware that the physical intimidation factor of people is a thing, the word intimidation factor sometimes is a thing. Like when somebody uses certain words, and they're only a couple of steps below these extremes, when they get to those extremes with me, I'm never shocked because I'm like, you said something before that was sort of out of pocket. So like and I'm not trying to, I'm not a wizard. I'm just saying, man, there has literally never been a situation that happened. The situation, and it might surprise me in the moment, but every single time in my life when I've reflected on something that went left, when I thought about it, I'm like, damn, that don't even surprise me. That's who she was. That's who she was. And so with his situation, I guarantee you, if this broad jumped off the handle and he had to check that or handle that or whatever he had to do, it wasn't her first time cutting up. It ain't never a woman's first time cutting up in public. Or it ain't never a first time for her cutting up like that. Never. That has never, ever, ever been the case. Oh my God, I didn't see this coming. We was just in a cab somewhere and we was in front of friends and she just flipped out. Bro, she flipped out somewhere sometime before and you thought you can contain that shit. Nah, you should never think you can contain it. You dismiss it. So that's one side of it. I ain't even gotten to stuff that the other people are saying about him as far as his character flaws, so on and so forth. I'll let somebody else dig into that. I don't mind, but I want somebody else to jump in and get their part in there.
I say, man, my first thought was, here they go. Here they go again. Textbook, same play that they use all the time. And I was disappointed because dude seems like a genuinely likable person. And I'm actually, and I said it before, I'm a fan of his and Michael B. Jordan's friendship. You know what I'm saying? Seeing their friendship evolve. You know what I'm saying? It's like these two seemingly decent guys for once. You know what I'm saying? And then when this come out, I'm just like, oh, she lying. Yeah. They're probably lying. But as far as, and I still believe she's lying, and not because I like the dude as an actor or I want to see him succeed so much because I think that he's that great of an actor. I think that now Hollywood work, get down or lay down. You know what I'm saying? Did he turn down someone's advance, the Hollywood type of advance, and they like, you know what? We gotta get rid of him because he don't want to play ball.
Mm-hmm. I hear your conspiracy. Keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he didn't attend one of those parties.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I'm leaning.
They made these the new hot guy toot his booty up. He probably skipped that part. And they, you know what? We gotta get him out the door.
So you saying Johnathan Major wasn't gonna be no Richard Pryor? He wasn't been joking no ball. That's what you saying? You know him.
Hey man, yeah.
He wasn't gonna be no Terry Crews. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna.
Damn.
You know that?
Dang, that was wrong.
That's what you saying?
You gotta understand too. You gotta look at the
play ball. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
But look at that photo shoot that he did a couple of weeks prior. I just actually thought about this. This photo shoot that he did a couple of weeks prior. I forget what magazine it was. It might have been Essence. It was Essence. And it was kind of they said that the magazine was he was dressed kind of feminine. You dig what I'm saying? So, he may, think about it. You might be dressed kind of feminine, whatever the case may be. That, these type of rumors or these type of sayings is going on around about you, and then you come to a chick like this who you supposed to be kicking it with, whatever, and then she spin the Terry Crews idea or that gay narrative towards you. Look, like, you have to understand where you at right now. You on the top of the game right now. You cannot let these people knock you off your square. And that's the whole thing. You have to walk away, because this person, you're not married to this person. Think about it. If I'm in a blockbuster movie and I'm not married to somebody, I gotta leave you, because I'm going nothing but up from this point. These niggas got to know when to walk away. And I'm saddened that this is a Caucasian woman, because again, I thoroughly believe that in the height of his fame right now, and the movies coming out, a black woman would not have came forward with this type of goddamn bullshit and put the shit out there. It would have been a whole different scenario. Like, and for this woman to be lying about this stuff, or her story's changing up,
or she let's see. This is when I need Chico. I need my lawyer buddy to come on. See, Cheek, I need to make a phone call. I need to make a phone call to the counselor. I ought to make a phone call to the counselor, see if I can get him on here.
Why?
Listen, because the lawyer said she recanted. See, wisely enough, Majors ain't doing no speaking. He said nothing. Been chopped. And the lawyer's been lawyering. And that's what
looked at that lawyer's profile, though.
His lawyer or her lawyer?
Olivia Pope out here. So a couple of things could be happening. Now you got to look at some other stuff that's happening with this story too. Number one, with that photo shoot with Essence, he was actually parroting an anime character from One Piece.
Yeah, I remember that.
So for the people who don't know, he's feminine. That he's literally doing a caricature here. Now, there's, of course, somebody said, well, at Yale, he was this, and he was this, and he was that, and he was that. And I'm just sitting here like, how a black man get away with all of this? Who had no following, no resources, but all of y'all coming forward now trying to say, what?
Mm-hmm. What did they say was going on at Yale?
Oh, that he was bullying people. He was violent, whole shebang. Like, they're saying his violence is that he has a history of violence.
Right.
And all these things happen.
And he has a history of his personality. My response to that was this. There have been a lot of people, when it's a black man, I do agree that they rarely make it far if they do have a history of something. Mm-hmm. But then I think about sports.
Sports is different, though.
It is different. It is. I know it is. But can people slide along and get along for a stretch of time? Because either two reasons. Either because you are significant and people just don't want to mess it up because they're enabling, or maybe they think you ain't gonna be significant and they don't care. And I'm thinking with Johnathan Majors, it might have been that they probably was sitting back, and I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm spitballing here. Mm-hmm. If he did have these things, and they looking at him, oh, this old nobody man, he just crazy anyway, so we ain't paying him no mind. And then time goes by, and now he is somebody, and it's like, how did that crazy man get that? You know what I'm saying? And then it may pop up later. I'm just saying, things fly under the radar for so many people for so long, and don't even get me started on people in Hollywood.
That's fair.
That were monsters for, and not only somebody said, somebody made the thing. They said we react too fast, and I'm like, do we? We didn't react fast with Kevin Spacey. We didn't react fast with R. Kelly. We didn't react fast with Bill Cosby.
We react extremely fast.
We didn't react fast with Harvey Weinstein.
We didn't react Kelly's music.
There you go. I'm like, so the country, people don't react fast to judgment as you think they will. I know that we're starting to react fast. I'm like, but we do not have a history of reacting fast. We actually have a history of reacting slow and being wrong as fuck on the back end. I mean,
being complacent with it too, because we got it in our own homes and don't react to it. Absolutely. So let's talk about it.
Absolutely. I mean, I always talk about the Darren Sharper situation. A lot of people are like, well, we didn't hear about it. We don't know. You know, Darren Sharper, the football player, who's the safety for the Saints, the safety for the Vikings, safety for the Packers. Great football player, attractive black man. But if you would just never imagine that this dude was flying cross country, sexually assaulting women and drugging them. You would never imagine that this is what this dude was doing, because when you look, you say he don't have to. You would look at this man and say he don't have to, and you assume that that has something to do with it. That had nothing to do with it. But when you unloaded everything, when you looked at all those case files, and he's currently in prison, but when you looked at the situation, the police were called in Texas, Arizona, and Louisiana several times. This dude was reported, and they just kind of, maybe not, pat on the, and eventually it finally comes out, and this dude was absolutely guilty. So sometimes we react too slow to this shit, and later we found out we should have reacted a bit faster.
For me, it was just the timing of things. To my knowledge, him and this woman had been together for a while. It had been a few years.
And that's why I went with the red flags thing. That's why I really went there. Yeah.
But this is also why when I saw the reaction of what happened and how quickly the story was recanted, and then you have all of these witnesses, I'm like, this man was prepared because this had happened before.
Yeah.
So he knew, especially when the police arrested him. Like most of the time when you have a really violent person and the police come in and arrest, they're typically still violent with the police.
Right.
But he was arrested without issue. And I was like, that sounds like somebody who got an ace in their hand.
Yeah.
And they are going to take me because I'm going to get out of this.
Because I'm good. I ain't worried about it.
Exactly.
This is what she do. This
All right,
is what she do.
So what as a woman, what do you think her punishment should be for this?
If it comes out that she totally fabricated it, what should her punishment be?
If you totally fabricate something, you should, that's obstruction of justice, because you are now putting resources towards something that isn't real. Look at what they did to Juicy Smollett. That's what what you call
juicy.
I mean, if we can do all of that to him for faking it, why can't we do all of this to these people who lie to the courts?
Yeah.
This goes back to the whole issue of consequences. You have women out here that are falsely accuse a man of rape, falsely have a guy thinking he's somebody's son, somebody's father. Yeah. And then when it comes out, it's like, oops, my bad. No, try these heifers. Yes. Maybe they'll stop. I'm not a feminist, but I'm all with equality when it comes to repercussions and consequences, including you done told this man for the last 18 years this baby was his, and it turns out not to be, and he been paying child support the whole time, ma'am. You owe that man his money.
Yeah. With interest. Absolutely,
with the interest.
Just like when we owe child support. Rate is 7%. Look, if I lie and go claim a child, and they do that there, and they run them IRS run that shit back, it's interest on that, baby. Oh yeah,
absolutely.
You owe me interest.
Absolutely. And this is why you have a lot of women who feel like, well, I can ruin your life.
I think even if you scare me, even if you scare a man with pregnancy, you know you lying, and it finds out you lying, you owe me pain and suffering. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bruh. There you go. Keep going.
Start suing for it. I know I got a girlfriend from way back.
I wish Bree would come in here and tell me she's pregnant.
She lived with her boyfriend for like 5 years. They broke up. She sued him and got palimony. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I'm finna go in there and if Bree ever tell me she's pregnant, even if I got a vasectomy and I know she lying, I know she playing, she better not even joke. Yeah, don't even joke about it. I'm gonna sue her. I'm gonna sue somebody because I think I need to get a lick back for all men that have been gamed. So I'm finna go see if I can get her back for something on the behalf of men.
If more dudes would go after women for this kind of stuff civilly,
even innocent,
because you may not be able to get her criminally. Civilly, sue that heifer all day long. Yeah.
But think about that. Think about how a woman is going to label a man going after.
I don't give a goddamn cash.
Man, look, y'all are going to tear a nigga up.
Don't care. I wouldn't. Because wrong is wrong and right is right. Some things are just pretty black and white. I don't go with that whole macho, well, I don't actually need the child support and I'm taking care of my son and she ain't got to pay me nothing. The money ain't for you, boy. So sir, it's for your child. Take her to child support court. Absolutely. Women get away with a lot of the things we get away with because men don't challenge us. Period.
Yeah, I've said this.
Niggas just want to be away.
Yeah, and
that literally creates the playing field y'all have right now.
And men have a fear of the court system, and I've told men over and over again, just don't be the first one to go. When you think something is going left, be the first one to the court system. Our court system works like this: the first person there gets the benefit of the doubt. Our court system works with you are defending yourself if you are responding. You are handling something if you're the first person to say something happened. So
even as an innocent person in court, even as a witness, nigga, I'm nervous as shit. I don't want to be in court.
Absolutely, I was nervous in divorce court. It wasn't even criminal.
I'm nervous. I don't want to be there.
Right.
Hell out of it. Look, and like I heard the excuse. He was like, "Go put yourself on child support." Bitch, I'm not going to court at all. I don't want to see these people at all. Like I don't want to see a defaced woman at all.
I mean, but that's not how child support court works. You don't get involved with those kind of things until you like disobey the order. Once the order is set, nobody fucks with you.
I don't want to order.
I don't want to order.
Because I have a child support order for me, and I pay my ex-husband child support. Nobody bothers us about that.
Cause you cool. I mean, that's different. Like, I mean that's different. Like, I
don't want foolishness. If we didn't have to do a child support order as part of our divorce, we wouldn't have done one at all.
Boom, there you go. But you were married at one point, correct? You were married at one point.
Yes.
All right. See, that's different. Most of these people aren't married. You know what I'm saying? So most of these people are individuals that's not even used to even taking care of another household like that. So now I gotta. It's a big situation because you don't know nobody's finance. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to make this about child support or anything like that. But again, a black man does not want to go to court. It's hardly ever favorable in our.
It's hardly ever favorable because y'all don't be the first ones to go.
And that's my whole point. I'm telling you, Remy, I get what you're saying. Listen, Remy, I'm telling you,
got everything he needed.
I'm telling you, I know too many guys' personal situations and how they've worked out because they filed, because they were first there, because they even unfairly. I know some men who unfairly are on the top of situations because they beat a woman to the court when the woman was just trying to just like, man, I'm telling you, the way our system is set up. The first person there gets things in their favor more often than not. It's just kind of they at least got something leaning their way.
Mercy.
I'm telling you,
especially in the state of Georgia. State of Georgia family court has become very balanced.
Recently?
Yeah, it has.
Over the last
recently.
5 years, absolutely. They are pretty balanced.
That's nice, but I'm just saying, my experience has been horrible with these niggas. But
you in Tiffin though, honey. Everything down in Middle Georgia is like that. So
Middle Georgia. See, I'm in Gwinnett County.
Oh, okay. Well, don't go down. You went to Gwinnett County for court?
I didn't go to Gwinnett County for shit. These niggas came after me. God damn it.
That's what you expect. They had to come get you.
God damn it, man. I can say they came after me, but you know what I'm saying? They will go after you. They will find your ass. But it is what it is. I'm in a happy situation now, and I'm good.
You about to actually play the live,
but I'm just saying, going to court, it's hard.
So it's not graphic. It's not graphic. So I'm gonna jump into this next situation, man. This lady, man, if y'all saw this, man, this live explained it, but she goes on Facebook Live and unalives her husband, and once I play the video in the situation, I'll go to her Facebook page and scroll down that so y'all can see the progression of things and sorts. But I'm just
thank you. Don't play the video. I agree. Do not play that video.
I'm trying to avoid this video.
Get him this on sad case, y'all. He getting his stuff. Look at that sad case. As a father.
Okay, Jeremy, what is the conversation you want to have?
We're good. Yeah, and your baby in the room.
You want to have?
We're good. Give me my phone, bro. Don't
what is the conversation you want to have?
What's the conversation?
Get out my phone.
He said, what's the conversation?
Don't tell me. I'll call the police over here. Don't do that. Touch me.
He said, what's the
the conversation y'all want to have?
Get on me.
What's the conversation you want to have?
Oh, I'm finna send that over there. She touched me good.
Ain't nobody touching you.
I'm gonna send my cousin over here. Do not touch me,
No,
bro.
nobody over here.
Oh, baby. Tell your daughter to keep her hands on me. Tell your daughter to keep her hands on me.
You the one slap me. You the one slap me. Hit me now. Hit me now.
Keep her hands on me.
Hit me now.
I'm still asking what is the conversation.
Oh man, that's what I'm finna do. I'm finna get up. I ain't really trying to argue at all.
I'm not gonna play the whole
No,
video.
you want to go tell your family about this, about that. You want to do this.
I'm trying to leave from.
I gotta protect my energy.
Yeah. So that's enough of it. I don't want to play the whole video at all. So at any rate, man, that situation, we by now we know how it ended, man. But if you go to her Facebook page, I'm going to share that part, man. That just kind of shows you that there was just stuff in the background that kind of preceded it. It doesn't justify anything at all. What you see on the page doesn't justify anything. You see a bunch of, they got an entire family, they've been married, but you can see these posts that preceded that, that
Time out. Hold on. She said that she got a bisexual husband.
Wait, well, so here's the thing, man. But if you scroll and if you saw the whole live, like I'm gonna go down, they got this part saying he messes with employees, and then there's this part right here. This is the woman that he was trying to, I guess he was seeing or he had something going on with, right? So, but then she says he's bisexual or whatever the case may be. So, and then after all that, that's when the live jumps off.
Man,
this doesn't justify anything. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, man, we talked about the way infidelity can flip. We talked about that last week, man. The way infidelity can flip. And it doesn't justify it at all, but man, you don't know, man. All I know is you don't know how people are going to handle that news when it comes. You know what I'm saying? I just hate that it was it's a brother, it's a sister, loss of life. These kids don't got no parents now. Both parents gone. A mother had to witness her daughter do this in front of, it's a sad situation all around, but what's the triggering effect of this? What led up to it? And that infidelity thing rears its ugly head. And I will say this, man, there are people, it's not a surprise when a person's spouse reacts like this, because I'm gonna say, man, I went down that path before and I was not surprised when my significant other reacted the way they did, because I was warned. There are some people that warn you that there are certain things they just don't play about. Not saying it justifies their reactions, but man, people react so viscerally to infidelity. Man, like you just hate that it came to this. You just hate that it came to this, and it's so sad.
For me, you guys know how I feel about monogamy,
right?
And the way monogamy has been socialized, and I'll get to you, Remy. You'll figure out my picture here in a second. The way monogamy has been socialized to people, I think, has led a lot of people to view their partners as property.
Okay.
In friendships, we have multiple friends. We're able to love multiple people. In our children, we're able to have multiple children, multiple love. Same thing with our families. But when it comes to relationships, it's deemed that monogamy is the thing. And a lot of people, I think, have associated this with that's mine. Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that, but it can be in the way that this is mine, your life is mine. So when people reaect in these ways,
unfold your arms over there, Frank. Unfold your arms. Over there.
I know. I see him.
Goddamn. Chest meat.
He got that real tight.
I'm gonna poke.
I don't know if he's trying to show the pecs off or what.
I'm poking chest meat like, damn, boy. That boy tight. That boy ain't breathe. He wasn't even breathing. He holding his breath like.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with monogamy at all, if that is your choice. But because we are socialized to think that is it, I think for a lot of people, they just don't know
anything other.
They don't know anything other. So when it comes to this, it's like this huge thing that my property has been touched. I mean, you got to think about like how Frank thought about the guy having his lemonade in the refrigerator. He felt mad, disrespected.
He almost caught a body behind some lemonade, bro. You want the man lemonade to get warm? God damn.
And it like my car. I love Coke Zero. That's my baby. Somebody run up on my car, I'm running up on them cocked and ready to go because that's my property. And I would feel violated if somebody took my property. And I think a lot of people are applying that in relationships as well. And it takes them to the extreme. So they don't even know how to process because they're just processing it at that's mine. Right. And mine has been violated. Right. So I don't know. It's
violated or disrespected.
Not saying anything's wrong with monogamy at all. But I think for some people, they twist it into ownership.
What you're saying, I love that perspective because there definitely needs to be deeper conversations had with people when they go into relationships and how they feel about monogamy. You know, me and my wife have had those conversations and we have our own ideas and they don't run 100% counter to the norm, but we don't view it as this end all be all and it wouldn't distort our reality if one thing happened or another. But then therein lies so many things with that. Where's the truth in that? How do things unfold? How do you pursue those things? It's a lot more to that than just you can go out and do what the hell you want to do. A lot more to it than that. But you're right. That concept of we in this relationship, you're mine, you're my wife, you're mine. Nobody's supposed to touch this. You're my husband, you're mine. Nobody's supposed to touch this. And the way we take monogamy, and because somebody is faithful, we then attribute more to their character than we probably should. I mean, it's kind of a basic thing to be faithful anyway, but kind of like we talked about in one of the lives before, some people hang their hat on this, at least I'm faithful thing. And it's not an at least, it's like I am faithful, and that rises above all these other attributes. We definitely put a premium on being faithful and monogamy. Go ahead, and Remy. I'm gonna let because he holding his breath down there in that corner. So Remy, you go ahead.
Sam's a good guy, man. Sam's a good guy.
Go do a push-up, man. Damn, get some of that steam off. Shit.
You got to see the way I look about monogamy and things like this. I look at things from the very beginning and how we were raised, how we were brought up, and our parents and things like that. You have to understand the foundation of monogamy. Okay, let me take this back. I'm gonna take it back a little bit, but my family's Trinidadian. Okay, and I look, my grandmother was the first in our family born on the island of Trinidad. Everybody else, her sister, her mother, everybody was from Barbados. So this is like in 1800s. 1863 is when they abolished slavery in Barbados, right? So I started thinking, I was like, Granny was born in 1913. Granny, how the heck did you make it to Trinidad and your mom was Bayesian and your sister Bayesian? I was just like, damn, okay, well, my mom got married. Oh, you got a man. Okay, so your mom had a man, got married, and moved to Trinidad. Okay, so when you move into a brand new island, you have to build a house. Oh, your man and his friends came together, build your house, build your livelihood, and y'all have to literally build a future together. Outside of slavery and things like that, we had to get together, build communities, build houses, build schools, and things like that. We had to create community. At this point in age, we don't really need each other to build out anymore. We need each other to build ourselves and our families. Now you have to really think about how important is a family to you? How important is your family to you? Because at this point, you don't need a man to build a house. You don't need a man to get a car. You can do anything a man can do. But how important is that sense of family? How important is that having somebody that you can rely on? Because if you got 3 or 4 other niggas, I'm gonna say, hey, what the fuck John doing? Or what the fuck Carrie doing? Whatever the hell. Why are you asking me? Like, shouldn't we come together collective like this? You ain't mine. So you can think about it. It's a sense of security and monogamy. And it's a sense of security.
I see what he's saying.
There is a sense of security.
I understand.
Yeah.
There's
But
supposed
right
to
now,
be.
your house is built. You don't have to do it. You don't gotta hunt for food. You don't have to. There's certain shit that you don't have to do right now. You understand? That's what's affording you the right to live in your freedom. Because 50 years ago, you needed a man in that household. Because why? Because we need to chop wood. We need to do this. We need that.
I don't disagree with the security of monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not debating that at all.
But make men's roles important again, because you can't do everything. That's what that's the whole point.
I ain't even talking about none of that either.
I know, but what I'm saying is this: makes men's roles necessary again. Because again, we on this thing that hey, we don't need a man. So
that's a different subject.
That's rolling. Like, as far as that, I see what you're saying. Like, but how that pertains to monogamy, I don't. He was the one that was cheating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So okay. Let me just say something real quick, and I'm gonna let y'all have it. He should have known that bitch was crazy when she just started acting up in front of her mama and them kids. Because if you're not gonna say that say that to me by yourself, and you jump in fresh in front of your mama and your children,
run.
Because you preparing.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, man, I can tell you, man, the mental, like what people have a deep down feeling about the person that they love and they're building family and legacy with. Men and women feel some way about that. Me and my wife was talking about this the other day. There's levels, right? And these things, there's levels. There's a man stepping out on his wife with a woman that hurts, right? A man that's supposed to be heterosexual stepping out with a man, that is devastating. That will, I don't give a damn how strong of a woman you think you are. That will end your life. There's another one that was even worse. I said a man stepping out and you find out he messes with children. And me and she and my mom said, she said that would end me. And we were talking about it. Let me tell y'all, we were talking about it. And she messed around and looked like she said something. I said something about the man on TV. I said, man, I can't believe a husband would do that. And listen at the wife and da-da-da-da. And I'm talking. And she looks at me and she rolls her eyes with this anger. And I'm like, wait, why are you rolling your eyes at me? I didn't do that. I'm like, that's not me. I'm like, that's not me. And she was just like, and then she caught herself in that moment because she was just imagining. And I guess she heard my voice while she was imagining, and I caught her attention, and it was just like walk, walk, walk. And I guess she just imagined it. And them eyes, man, stared into my soul. And I'm like, hey, look, it ain't me, man, bro. Certain things, violations, man, the way we would react to them, we can't ever just assume that we're gonna get to have a conversation with our significant other about it and they're gonna be okay. But go ahead, Frank, jump off in that thing.
My leg been shaking the whole time.
You got it. Close it on out.
Now the thing is, going back to what Sheffield was saying, there are people who view their significant other as their property, as in ownership. This is mine. But there are people like myself that has the understanding that what I put into this is mine. So my time, my effort, my resources, emotions, heart, everything, my entire being, that's mine, that I'm putting into, that I'm investing into you, that I'm investing into us. So that's what I own. I don't own her because she's her own person and she can make whatever decision she want to make. Now, if she chose to go out and mess with somebody else, then you don't belong to me. You know what I'm saying? So if you decide that you want to give yourself to somebody else, then everything that I've given, everything that I own that I've given, I'm taking that back. That's mine.
Rightfully
I'm
so.
leaving you to yourself, and whoever that rusty ass nigga that you find.
But the court gonna give her half.
She can have.
If he filed first.
She can have that. I'd rather have my whole piece of mind.
That's why I say, man, you like Jesus, man. Like you a real good guy.
I'm telling you,
like,
bro.
you like, yo, you like Jesus, man. Like
He
you
ruins
the closest
the
nigga I know to
man.
Jesus. You a good guy, man.
If you file first and you file that she committed infidelity, sir, you may not have to give her nothing.
Yeah, man. Listen, there again. I got a few homeboys, a few acquaintances that I would bet ain't never. There's just things that they ain't done. But like, if I had to pick one, you got one partner to pick that ain't did nothing. I'm like, it's him. It's him. There's a few who I know got some really tight standards, but I'm talking. But he's lived. A lot of guys I know that lived it. They used to be one way, and they came back and they changed. This motherfucker been like this forever.
Sam was legitimate.
Do you know how many times I've tried to I have put him in situations. I have put him in situations where it was justified for him to do some wrong. Never while he was married, so anybody would ever think that. Hell no. But
no.
we were in high school and he was dating this girl. He didn't want to be there no more. He was just trying to break up with the girl. So I'm like, you know what? Hey, so it's over with in his mind. He was done. I said, all right, well, let's double eight. Let's go date. He would not go out because he had not verbally let old girl know it was a wrap. I'm like, who cares?
This is in high school.
He does.
Damn,
no. I'm not playing. This was in high school. Like honestly, we joke about this.
That was a good guy.
We joke about this. My boy was trying to. My boy was like, I ain't having sex till I'm married, and not because he couldn't get none. That was his walk, and I sincerely believe he would have made it a little further toward that walk had he not been hanging out with me. You know what I'm saying? had we not been best friends, he would have been. Huh?
You were down the hall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was down the hall, so I left him abandoned in a situation where he didn't have no choice but to participate in something. So, but he legitimately has been this dude for a long time. So his standard is a standard that I can respect because he lives.
He never switched up.
Bro, he walks that, and he really sincerely is like, I can stand on this because I hold that standard. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody can do that, So, but yeah, boy.
Got any brothers?
all American. All American. And he the good one, but no, they ain't like
Sam.
Hold on, wait. His brothers
Sam,
like
you
him.
see,
Like
now I got a question for Sam. Sam, your homeboy Manuel, right? Let's say the person on live was Manuel, and you know that this situation is not going to turn out right. What do you say to his wife to calm her down out of the situation?
Man, a person like the woman that he was, not Manuel, but the guy in the video.
Yes.
If she was anything like that woman, you ain't saying anything to calm her down. You just got to get to that house.
Yeah. There you go.
Defuse the situation.
There was no words that was going to calm that woman down. No words.
I honestly believe, again, if you start acting out of character because other people are in the room, you about to jump off.
Bro.
Like you got to leave.
Bro.
If I'm looking at her, if somebody cursing me out and she's saying shit to me that she's never said before, I got to go because it's going to escalate.
And then for it to be like sexuality motivated, absolutely, he stayed too long. Way too long.
I'm going to tell you now. Listen.
He shouldn't have come home.
I've been in situations. Like I've been in a situation where a woman came to my home and another woman was there, and she I don't even want to tell the whole story, but basically I'll tell the story. God damn it, I might as well. So one of my homegirls came into town and she got me tickets to a basketball game. And we was just kicking it. We was friends. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, we friends, we was kicking it. But I was hoping that, the end of the night, it was gonna end a certain kind of way. The other woman that I was kicking it with, I wasn't in a monogamous relationship with, but we had an understanding. And I was doing my thing. So I leave, old girl, my friend comes to pick me up, and we go to this basketball game. While we're at the basketball game, the woman that I was seeing starts texting me. She hits me up and she's trying to text me and say, hey, when you're done with the basketball game, I want to see you. I want to come over, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not answering text or anything like that. I wasn't answering text. Well, I get this text and she says, why you're not answering the door? At this time, I'm not even home. But what happened was my homegirl picked me up in her car. So old girl was back in my apartment. She saw my car in the parking lot. So she assumed that I was in the house with this girl. And so I'm like, yo, I'm not home. And she was like, what you mean you're not home? I'm like, I'm not home. My friend came and picked me up. And so she was like, you lying, I know. And then so she went down there and she's like, oh yeah, your car is cool, so you're not home. Like, you ain't been nowhere. I'm like, yeah, I ain't been nowhere. I was like, I'll be back. I'm like, I'll be back. I'll check in with you when I get there.
Thank you say your car is cool.
Because my car was cool. Because if the engine is hot, women have been testing me for a long time. I know what they look for. Trust me, bro, trust me. So man, I've had a woman tell me, not only is your hood, not only is your hood warm, but your brake pads are hot. That means you just pulled in, nigga. Stop playing with me. Dang. Bro, I've been tested, right? So anyway, so I get there. I told my friend, look, just go into the apartment real quick. I'm gonna handle this business. I'll be up in a second. So she runs up. My friend goes to the apartment, and I'm sitting downstairs talking to this woman, and I'm getting her to calm down. This booger runs. She just gets into a nice little not a full sprint, but a nice little jog, and runs up them flights of stairs and goes into the apartment. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta chase her. So I go up there. I'm like, she's gonna attack this woman. I get up there, and she just sitting down on the sofa. She's just chilling just like this. Well, since your friend is eating and y'all just chilling, I'm gonna chill till your friend is gone. And I'm like, oh my God. So all right, my friend is eating. My friend is eating food. Then all of a sudden, the woman I'm seeing starts chirping, starts saying slick shit. And I'm looking at my friend. I'm just looking at her like, don't respond. And she said, man, da. An old girl on that sofa turns around and she says something. I can't remember. It was something she said. It was basically, say one more thing, blah, blah, blah. She goes off and she turns back around. And old girl just like, I wish you would. This woman, like, bro, she gets, like, I don't know how she got over the sofa without standing on the sofa. She went from sitting to hopping over the sofa, and it's like it was slow motion when I saw it. And so I reached, and when she reached for the woman, I grabbed her hand just as she grabbed old girl's hair, and I grabbed her hand at the same time. So I was able to kind of like keep it from going left as fast, because had she grabbed her head, it was going to be a wrap. So I'm in between them, and I quickly separate them. I'm like, yo, you bugging it up. Friend is tripping. You need to get your girl. You need to control your B. You need to control your B. Yeah. This one is flipping out. You ain't supposed to be over here with the B anyway. And this whole head talk to me, and I'm just like, yo. And she's like, the only way I'm leaving and calming down is if you leave with me. If you don't leave with me, I said, let's go. I told my homegirl, I said, look, if you want to spend the night, you want to do what you do, I'm going to make sure this chick gets home. I'm out. I go ahead and get to the crib with this chick. Bro, I don't know if Frank ever heard this story, but it's a true life story. I swear to God. Put it like this: the woman who's the friend is a Facebook friend of mine. This story is 100% valid. This story is 100% valid.
If I was the friend, I would have whooped your girl's ass.
She couldn't have. She ain't built like that. Listen, everybody.
This is why.
Listen, everybody. Everybody ain't built to thump. I promise you. This one was built. The one that hopped over that sofa, she's built like that. She is built. She's built to thump. This other one, she does this, and she didn't know. She didn't. Hey, Remy, I'm not playing with you. The woman that was sitting on the sofa, she's a Trini. I'm telling you. I already know. They are different.
Man.
They are different, bro.
Let me tell you, I don't even mess with Trinidadian women. I cannot. I'm Trinidadian, and I don't mess with Trinidadian women. I can't. Bruh, it's a different breed.
She's Trinidadian by way of New York, and she's in Atlanta. Bro, what
That's me.
Red flag. Red flag.
What was
That's
you
a red
thinking?
flag.
Red flag. Walking red flag. Yeah, and
Pretty much.
and I provoke and back.
You did. That's your fault. They should have both whooped your ass. Damn. You set your friend up. Whoever she is, I hope she watches.
Oh yeah, she
owe you for the rest of your life.
I apologize, man. She's barely spoke to me since then. I really apologize, man.
I can't even lie. I had the same situation happen when I was dating this chick for a year, and shit. The chick who I was seeing. Okay, so the chick from California came to Atlanta. Then my girl in Atlanta showed up at the crib. Man, nigga, I just had to tell my girl from Atlanta. I was like, we over. Don't come over here no more. It's a wrap. Like, yo, we've been together for a year. I don't give a damn. Let's get the fuck out of here. It's over. You popped up. Like, you popped up. You violated. It's a wrap, man. It's done.
And all this crap is why women out here murdering their husbands on FB Live because y'all.
Man, there's no question. Bro. There's no question that when it let's go back to what Sheffy was talking about when it comes to monogamy in the first place. There has to be a level of honesty if you're going to go down this path of non-monogamy, right? Mm-hmm. You can't have somebody thinking it. You can't have both women thinking that they're the main. That will get your.
So what is this? So what? Okay, Sheffy, are you poly?
I am.
Okay.
So she's going. So I think poly dynamics are the best as far as honesty and openness because everybody knows. Mm-hmm. But then the next level is, the man or woman that has that side person, right? They better be telling the side person the truth.
And that's where when things get hectic and why it's just like I don't want to deal with nobody.
Right,
no
but I'm telling you, man, I have one of the guys we talked about this last week. One of the guys said one of his homeboys lost his life because he was a side guy and didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? Like give them people that option, man. Because and then honestly, a person that's a side person don't know it, they might react violently when they find out that that's what they are. So it's like there has to be an element of.
I have definitely called a boyfriend or two when I found out I was.
That's what I'm telling you. So there has to be an element of honesty in there somewhere. But to be moving totally as if you're my only, and there's nobody else. You're my only, and there's nobody else, bro. That is a recipe for destruction long term. It won't.
Somebody knows that they ain't the only one.
Man,
but see, that's the thing. Just because you know doesn't mean you're conscious of it.
Right.
You may see all of the signs, but you also may be making the excuses.
Right.
So, like, you have a woman, you and your husband been together, y'all been together 8 years, but y'all haven't had sex in a year. Absolutely, that man smashing somebody else, ma'am. I don't care.
So what if I love you? Sheffy, what if I care about you? I love you. Like I really want to be in a relationship with you. Like, what you just gonna say? Okay, I like you too, and have sex with somebody else too?
No, it's not that simple. It's not that cut and dry. For me, I don't engage in sharing my emotions too widespread. And if I'm in a poly relationship with one or two people, I'm emotionally involved. It's not about sex.
Okay. So
sex is part of it, but that's not the reason. So it's not like I'm just going out here just smashing a bunch of dudes. And that's what I think a lot of people get misconstrued. They think that poly is just about sex.
A big ass orgy. It's not.
It's about intimacy. It's about safety. So for me, I have never engaged with more than two guys at a time. And I may have thrown a girl in there every now and
again. So that's just, I feel you, man. It's for me.
And then it's not always something that has to be done either.
Mm-hmm.
So not every relationship I've been in have I been poly. No.
Yeah, you can't be poly if we talk. You can't talk to nobody else. You can't call nobody else. You can't be on a damn podcast. You can't do shit.
Well, you better provide all of the safety and intimacy I need.
Variety. Okay, for the person that said variety can be fun, variety is fun, but goddamn, when you get emotions involved and I start liking you, Sheffy, and I want to see you very regularly, and then I didn't do shit, but do everything right. But you say, hey, you know what? I want to go out with Jake today. Man, I've been on the job.
No, it's never like that. It's never like that. And every time I've ever delved into a poly relationship, it's been, I love this person, but there's some need that's not being fulfilled. And that's when another person may come in to fulfill that particular need.
How did you meet this person? You fucking with me. How did you meet this man?
I mean, I'm an attractive woman. I may be a bigger girl, but there's no shortage.
Man, how the hell did you meet
this man? There's no shortage of hollering.
What? No,
girl.
I can't even see you like that. Like, you look like such a wholesome person. Like, I feel safe.
Yeah, thank you. And she out here just.
I don't feel so safe in a monogamous relationship with you.
I am extremely wholesome.
But I would feel so safe with you.
Submissive woman.
Huh?
This masculine thing of just going around
I would feel so
safe. It's not that at all. For me,
but that's one too many outside of me.
Well, then
why are you taking this so personal, Remy? He's taking it personal.
I
know, like he seriously is.
It's blowing my mind right now. Like I see the shit about poly online, and then like I've been like I can't even imagine. Like if I know, even if I know I'm smashing somebody, I've been with a girl that's in a relationship. I've been with somebody that's married or whatever the case may be. Just knowing that they're gonna go home and smash their husband, you looking like. Or like when they just came off and I see for me like what have you been doing? Like I just want to know that I'm safe when I'm at work.
That's why it has to be a discussion. There are rules. There are, you have to be comfortable with yourself, and that's a lot of men that engage in poly. They go into it thinking, oh, well, I'm just gonna do me, and she gonna sit here at the house. And then when she doesn't sit here at the house, suddenly their manhood feels challenged. And it's like just like you as a dude, you may have a side piece. You deal with your side chick for a whole different reason than you deal with your main woman. It's no different. It's no different. You may deal with a woman may deal with two different guys because each guy brings something different to the table.
They said
her needs.
Women are supposed to be more mature than men. Women are supposed to be
absolutely
y'all stronger than us.
Instead of having to lie behind y'all back like y'all
stronger than us. Y'all stronger than us.
Man.
Y'all stronger than us. Y'all stronger than us. Y'all better than us. Y'all don't do what we do. I need as many of those things. I need to tap in and give it all. He said, you ain't even supposed to be talking to nobody else.
How did you even know this guy? How did you even get to know this nigga? Like, what are you talking about right now? You got to know somebody who else met the needs that I didn't meet.
Why are you so hurt?
Because I'm your nigga. I mean, every need.
He said he your everything. He your everything.
Well, if you were everything, then I probably wouldn't venture outside of that.
Man, I'm gonna get old after not now. Boy, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. You look so wholesome. I would never expect it. Like it's nothing bad.
I am wholesome.
It'll hurt me. I'll be hurt.
Yeah, man. Listen,
I am completely wholesome. I am a very loving and caring, supportive woman to anybody I meet.
You know what it sounds like? It kind of sounds like game a little bit, if you ask me. Like if you hear the way she say it,
because a nigga not gonna give a damn if you smashing another nigga, but I'm gonna give a damn if a nigga smashing my girl. Like, yo, it's submission. Like you said, it's submission. It's like I don't even want to have the thought that my woman is submitting to another man.
And you know what, and that's the thing. I mentioned that too, man. There are men that look at it like that. That's what sex from a physiological standpoint. That makes it so visceral for men because we're the phallus, y'all are the chalice, and so it's like when there's somebody else's phallus into that
chalice.
It breaks some that's why, man. That's why I believe women handle the details better than a man. men don't want to know details. We automatically assume everything destructive and nasty happens.
We do too. The reason we ask for the
I ain't gonna
details.
lie. I'm gonna be like, you suck this dick.
No! Did you?
I'm like, oh hell no! Ain't no
The reason women ask for details is so we have more ammunition to throw at you later.
Listen, let me give y'all a story of if she's watching, which I don't think she is, but there's a friend of mine. A friend of mine was married, and she wanted out of the marriage. She was done. She was done with the marriage, wanted out of it. And yeah, she was done. She was done with the marriage. She wanted out of it, but the husband was trying to still hold on to it. And so I warned her. I said, y'all need to really get some therapy before y'all go to this next phase y'all in, because she had to go away for a while. She had to go away and work for a stretch. And I said, when you got to go work away from your husband that you were having problems with for 90 days or longer. I said, and y'all are on a bad note. I said, God, I said,
That house gonna be different when you come back.
I said, the worst thing can happen is if you meet somebody while you're gone. She said, I'm not gonna meet nobody. I'm not studying nobody. I said, I'm warning you, try to get this man and y'all into therapy, and you leave on a good note. The husband didn't want to go into therapy. He did not want to go into therapy. He wasn't trying to do any counseling. And so she left on a very bad note. Well, she met somebody while she was gone, and by the time her and the husband reconvened, she was pretty much like, hey, look, it's done. I want a divorce. I'm good. Like, I'm good on you. We need to go our separate ways. The husband was like, no. I realized how much everything you meant to me while you was gone. And he wanted his wife, and he wanted the situation. So at some point he decided, when they were back together, he noticed that she really was disconnected. He finds his way into her phone. Listen, man, don't go into them damn phones.
Boy.
Because let me tell you, the best thing you can find is text messages. The best thing you can find is just obscure text messages that confirm that she's seeing somebody or they're seeing somebody. The worst thing you can find is one of them dudes in there that got a third leg, and that's been what's in your lady for the last couple of months. And he found a dude that had a third. No, why are you laughing? See, that's maniacal. That is maniacal.
Your ass is evil, Sheffy. I'm not believing none of this shit no more. Your ass is evil.
That is not right, Sheffy. That is not right. The way you just laugh. Look at your face. Look at the joy. Look at the
joy on my face. Look at the heartbreak on my face. This is crazy.
What the hell just happened? I'm gonna take her off screen right now until she can compose herself. Wow. And she look, go laugh in the shadows, and she's still laughing.
Sad, boy.
Look at her. Look.
Okay, anybody going through anybody's phone, you deserve exactly what you find.
And look, and so that's what the man found. He found another man in there with a third leg. And as a man, you wonder, man, was he bigger than me, bruh? Listen, listen. The average man size, we know what that is. What, 5 inches something? From what I understood, man, from what I understood, what that man found was at minimal double that. And I laughed just like she did. I pulled over to the side of the road when she told me, because it was funny, because I'm like, man, it was funny, but it hurt at the same time, because I'm just imagining, as a man, you discovering that part of it. How can you don't want to go back down that hallway after you know a whole train and ran through it?
And that's
you have no business. Now you don't qualify. Now you don't qualify to even walk down that hallway. But
I'm not gonna lie, that's the whole truth.
But he was devastated. She said that she came home one day.
I would have laughed.
She said he was devastated for so long that she came home one day and he was, no lie, I'm not making this up. If the woman, if she ever sees this thread, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell her I told this story, and maybe she'll come and give it a like. But She says she came home one day and this dude was in the bedroom, an empty room in the house, laying on the floor, playing R. Kelly, If I Could Turn Back the Hands of Time. In tears.
The nigga that got left?
The husband that found out that when he went through that phone. She said he was diagnosed with PTSD after that. You hear what I'm saying?
You ain't gonna see me in that state.
So, hey, bro, just if you think they doing something, you think they getting down with something, man, ask the questions. And if them questions don't make you feel good.
I just want to say something real quick. Look, I just want to bring up a situation. So I'm messing with this chick. And typically I like older women. So I'm messing with this chick. She about 45, 44 at the time. Yeah. Talking to her, whoa, good situation. She just left. She just spent the entire weekend at my house. She just went back home to Marietta. This is not my woman now. So she called me. She said, hey, man, my pilot and my furnace went out. Can you come over and light my pilot? And I'm like, man, it's light a pilot. Like, I'm not finna come light no damn pilot. Oh, like, no, I'm not finna come there like no damn pilot. She was just like, all right, yeah, I just had my neighbor come light the pilot. And I gave him some pussy. Bitch, you motherfucker, like I knew this shit was gonna go down, but she was like, but you don't want to come light my pilot. Okay, time out, bitch. You don't have 2 dicks run through you in one motherfucking day. I can't believe that you can. I can't believe that you would even let a nigga bust down because the nigga lit your pilot.
Listen, let me explain another thing. Acts of service and men doing what men do goes a long way. I've told men this. Don't let no other man change your wife's tire. Don't let no other man change your wife's tire. Listen, if it's something in this house I can't fix, I'll go get the people that can fix it. I'll go get the people that can fix it. I'll go get the contractor. I'll go do all that. Yeah, listen, there's only one plumber in this goddamn house. Okay. Okay.
What about a skilled electrician?
There's only one electrician. Listen, I'm gonna escort the electrician up in here, and we'll get it popping. You
ain't put his lemonade.
Yeah. The lemonade in the refrigerator. Frank that made that clear. That ain't going down. Anyway, so I want let that segue into this next subject matter, boy. Your boy Tyrese done got embarrassed again.
Oh my God,
man! He done got embarrassed again, man. I'm gonna play the video, man.
Oh my God, it was awful.
This is bad, man. Hold on, man. Is it my screen?
Saying so good, be so long.
So,
man,
that's the most commonly asked question. How did we meet? I slid in the DMs.
Yeah.
We linked up.
He wasn't my type at all. My type was actually Paul Walker, rest in peace.
She volunteered that for me.
He wasn't my type at all. And my type is not white. I'm just saying I was more interested in
touch me.
Paul and every Fast and Furious.
Don't touch me.
And even when I met him, I was like, he's kind of old. I just like his smile. It's pretty cool.
How old is he?
This went
his
really
personality,
bad.
His personality.
Just went really bad, really fast.
His personality was okay, but
I'm getting off live.
He didn't understand the Instagram model thing, so he would always talk down.
So you wanted the homie, models. You didn't want me.
I wanted the homie, and just said he was cuter.
You said I'm old.
You know all this already. I wasn't your type either, so relax. And so now we're here. It's like an actual somewhat of a love story, which is crazy because I didn't know that
No, I'm done. No, don't touch me.
Let me just say this. I got one thing. I will say, you know what? She been holding that whole when he didn't understand the Instagram model thing, so he always talked down on me. She been holding on to that for a long time, boy. And she been holding on. I don't know who that is. It might be his wife. I don't care who that is, bro. But man, listen, I'm gonna let y'all go into this first because I've had to compose myself a few times from speaking on this one. Go ahead, Remy. Go ahead, man.
Me, that it's just the fact that she said we're in a love story somewhat. I hope he did not move that chick into his house. Like that cannot be a real situation. You see, you got to understand when you're being used or when you're being experienced. She's experiencing this man and his lifestyle right now. That's not true love. And if he can't decipher that from her language, he a goddamn fool. Like, we're somewhat in a love story. You're in my house. We're making decisions together. We're trying to build a life together. Somewhat of a love story. Where's Instagram? That ain't even no joke. But yeah, whatever. No.
Go.
He's being experienced.
Go ahead, Sheffy. Go ahead. Explain your sister. Explain your girl.
Oh, I have no.
That's your girl. That's your girl. That's your girl.
I mean, women who publicly emasculate their men deserve everything they get. I just don't agree with that behavior. Nowadays, it's become like shock value, and women doing it for likes on posts. I mean, you had that one girl who the guy he would be singing on TikToks, and she would slap the shit out of him all the time.
Oh yeah,
and it's like I felt so bad for him. I'm like, where are his people? Ain't nobody brought this girl up yet?
Every time I saw that, man, the little guy, the small guy, and he was and she would just reach over and just pop. And that broke my heart every time I saw that. If that had been my son, I'd have got somebody to link up with old girl. I'd have got a woman to go link up with old girl. No doubt about it.
I would have linked up with old girl. I'm a woman. I whooped her ass. But I mean, I just don't agree with this tell all to the point where you get down to the dirty details that actually hurt.
Right.
I hate to see Toby and his wife do it.
Yeah.
Because it's like y'all are reliving trauma just to talk about your love. And this is crazy.
Leave that out. Yeah, I agree.
Right. Just say, at the beginning, we just didn't see how we were compatible, but eventually we found each other, blah, 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 blah. That makes sense. I'm cool with that. When y'all go into all these details, I actually wanted your man's Paul Walker. Bitch, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah. That's totally disrespectful.
Like, that's too much. And you know how tight them two were.
Right.
And then that man is dead. Sis, you just committed all kind of atrocities here.
But you got to understand, but Chef, you have to understand what doors that open up, because all those Paul Walker types, it's going to be in her DMs like a mug. You think that's
how they been in her DMs?
Huh?
She a Instagram model. She got plenty to do.
Yeah, that's why dating Tyrese is not a big thing to her. But those Paul Walker types that she was talking about, she's gonna leave.
And that's why she probably said it.
Huh?
That's probably why she said it.
There you go. Because that's the same reason I was saying that I like a thick chick over my skinny ass girlfriend. I'd be like, yeah, I like big girls. All the big girls go, oh,
yeah. Oh, let me go take a man. Let me go take, yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't taking
Frank there, hold on, where Frank at, man? Come on back in here, man. I need your input on this here.
Oh, Frank done got a hat.
There you go.
Said he had to go.
You take the old lady to the movie. But so y'all been going the car ride for as long as we on.
Damn, you taking your wife that you've been with for about all this time to the movies?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
Damn. What?
See, this is why folks be poly right there. Right there.
I'm kidding, man.
He being facetious. He being facetious.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, trust me. Remy a whole super simp for his old lady, boy. He be treating and greeting.
I really.
Hey, Sam, give us your take on Tyrese real quick, man. Give us your take on that nonsense he just went through.
That nigga retarded, man.
That's very ableist of you to say.
Man. He catching air, but he keeps setting himself up. Like, niggas, stay off social media. Just stop, because every time you get on social media,
you
wind up crying. You know what I'm saying?
See, but the thing that I think that nigga got to be corny in real life, though.
He got to be.
He got to be corny in real life.
It ain't hard.
Everybody
call Russell Wilson corny, but Russell Wilson has yet to end up in situations like Tyrese. Yet. But it's because Tyrese was a baby boy. Everybody think he tough because he faced down Snoop Dogg in a movie over his baby mama. Everybody give him way more. They forget that Melvin choked the shit out of him. They forget that part. He ain't that dude. Let's be clear. He ain't that guy.
He seemed like his person that was bullied in school. But I mean that then just came on up. But I don't know, man.
That was a terribly bad look, man. There's no way I would ever be in that position. I would never be in that position because, again, you had to see some red flags. That woman, that ain't her first time trying you in some capacity like that.
And she cute.
You said, and she cute? Look at her.
I said she thinks she cute.
Oh, yeah.
I had to got that one up on her ass. See, that's when I turned Polly and let somebody else come in and score her ass on out.
Yeah,
that nigga Tyrese, at this point, man, that nigga deserve it because ain't no way. I don't know how long them niggas, how long they been dating, but ain't no way he didn't know. Just like nigga, that wasn't revelation. Like she had to mention something like, man, my wife told me that I wasn't her type initially. That what she would usually go for.
Here's pause.
That nigga, that woman told him. If not in some type of coded message, or by her actions, or just bluntly, that wasn't the first time he heard that. So I don't buy that bad acting job. That nigga talking about I'm getting off live. Like nigga, if you were really that upset, nigga, you would have flipped that girl from off your shoulder, off your back, and turned the camera off. You would the phone.
So she said she like Paul Walker type. So she mean like she like Steph Curry. I'll leave your ass. If Steph Curry, you jump in my shit, I'm leaving your ass. That's why
I think essentially it's not necessarily even that she just like, hold on, Sam coming back. Hold on. Go ahead.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Damn, phone froze up?
Yeah. Your phone froze up.
It was jumping off your
Wi-Fi. Well, I just repeat the gist of what I was saying. Is that Tyrese, I don't buy that he was upset. I think Tyrese is the type of nigga that likes he likes the sympathetic attention. Because if that was something new that he heard, he wouldn't have reacted so well, get off me. I'm in this live. I mean this nigga he act bad in his movies and he act bad on that live. So I think that nigga would just
somebody just said that Tyrese seems like a crisis junkie in relationships. There's something there. There's some, because it's always that narrative whenever he shows up publicly on a platform in regard to a relationship.
Yeah.
Almost like he wants people to believe he's always the victim.
In every situation.
Every situation.
Every time.
Situation.
Man. You know, some more crying.
Man, we ain't gonna hold you, man. Go ahead and take your wife out on a date, man. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you for hanging in here.
No, they got a great relationship. She holding the phone, he talking. That's a whole vibe right there. Keep it going.
She doing that on purpose. That's for all you heifers that's possibly looking at this here live. She like, I'm on this live too. I see what's going on. Don't get off in the comments. Don't slide in his DM. We on a date now. I see what you did, Mrs. Moore. I see exactly what you did. You ain't slick.
She be watching these lives too.
Hey, you got to.
Shout out to Rosie. Rosie done caught one of my lives. I'm gonna have Rosie on. Rosie, we need you to come on to a live one time. Woo-hoo-hoo! Boy. She trouble. Rosie calls herself the Queen of Swords. Rosie, she's one of my Facebook friends, man. She calls herself the Queen of Swords. Bro, She could be very contentious, and quick-witted with it. Quick, we're gonna have her on one day. She's also no, yes, Queen of Swords. We know exactly. I know, yeah. Anyway, go ahead and enjoy your date, Frank. We finna jump off into this Kevin Gates situation because he got outed by a trans woman, and we want to know what the hell's going on with Kevin Gates, man. That's y'all's boy.
Have fun, Frank.
No, I'm staying over this Kevin Gates man.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna show it. Hold on. All right, here we go.
I was like, I'm not like, so he came and he was like, let's go to dinner. And I was like, okay, just like text me where. Like kept it really cool. And he sat down, he had like 4 phones. He was saying like El Chapo was watching me. And I was like, okay, like cool. He had a both.
Was a gang or was
no Chapo
cartel.
And we were in his car. He was playing me his new album. He was on Instagram Live. And in my brain, I'm like, dude, he shows me on live. And I'm like, I just know one of like the fans from Iowa, like where I'm from.
That is a dude.
Yeah, like that's a fucking male. And it was just one of those situations where I almost felt like I was like at like lunch with or like in trouble with my principal. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like he was literally looking so deep into like my soul and my like 9 different holes that like I didn't even know what I was getting into. I tried caviar for the first time. That was cute. It was hot. He asked like, do you want to come home with me? He was kind of just like, get in my car.
And they just that's how they always are.
No, they don't ask, you go.
Yeah, you just go. You just follow the rules. And I don't know. He's all about like energy, like ashwagandha, like the whole fact. And I told him I was trans, like mid, like spread eagle, like pussy flap scars and all. Like
how did you bring that
honestly
up?
I was just black.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm squirting. He's like, no, you're not. No. Oh my God, you guys kill me. But no, I was literally, I'm not kidding, like spread eagle. I think he was like me out or something. And then in my brain, he like stopped and I'm like, oh, he knows my clit looks different. Like, fuck. Like, I was like, fuck, what's about to happen? And he was like, yeah, no, he's not out of breath that quick. Let me get this man an oxygen tank. But he was like, can I ask you something? And I go, yeah. And he was like, are you trans? And I go, and I was just like, I was so done. Like,
come on.
There, like,
what gives you that idea?
And I was laying there and I go, you caught me. And he literally was like, babe.
Now, as y'all seen,
I was like, I'm not like, so he came and he was like, let's go to.
That's my first time watching that whole clip.
Same.
Wow. It's the fact that a nigga gonna say, are you trans? My nigga, get the fuck out, nigga. Run immediately. I'm not gonna ask. No, but I'm not. Go ahead. Y'all go first.
Bro.
I mean, I'm sure he asked because he could tell there was a difference.
My nigga, I'm playing with pussy for about 30 minutes before I do anything. Like, I'm gonna touch it, I'm gonna be like, bitch, your clit is a little bit. First of all, this bitch sound like a man. Like, I don't want no pretty bitch. Like, yo, I like stretch marks on my titties. I like a woman that's had a child. I want a fupa. I need battle scars of womanhood. You think what I'm saying? Like, man, like,
I mean, she got flap scars.
Flap scars. Flap scars are when they get the surgery down there, and it's obvious.
So she's post-op.
I dated a chick who had a lap band. And then this bitch went from, man, she was 400 something pounds, and she went down all the way to 150 something. This motherfucker, when I say she was carved up, oh man, I'm about to call the bitch name. Boy, this motherfucker was so carved up and fucked up. It was crazy. Let me tell you what she did though. You know, I ain't gonna tell that part. But the thing is this. I was so grossed out by all those damn cuts on her, like cutting out the loose skin. I was so grossed out by that. Like, my God, I don't want to see no fucking scars that's not applicable with being a lady. If you got a C-section, I'm gonna feel a little C-section. I'm gonna feel it's gonna be a little rough above your pubic hair. I'm gonna feel for that. Man, yo, it can't be too big.
She lost a bunch of weight, so that's a little bit different. Because I mean,
it's gonna be hard and calloused. It's a split above your pussy.
Right, I know, but I'm talking about the person losing weight and you were grossed out by her scars. That's a little bit different.
But okay, yeah, I understand that. I understand that. But again, I don't like scar. I don't like all that.
So you're saying
shit. I don't like all that moving around, that funny business. I like the woman to be intact.
So you're saying if you would have went down there and any sort of scarring down there would have automatically alerted you to
look, let me tell you, this bitch put jelly, like I don't know, she put like lube that tastes like strawberry or whatever. And then this bitch, I went down, this bitch is just like, yeah, I naturally taste like strawberry. Let's get me the fuck out of here right now. Like, I'm not even playing with your dumb ass right here. Like, yo, you wilding right now. Your ass got this weird ass mentality, and you think because you bad, you just gonna lube your shit up with strawberry lube, and then just tell me you naturally taste like that. Are you dumb? So I don't want nothing to do with nobody like that. Like, come to the table as you are. I would have fucked with you big, 400 pounds.
So Kevin Gates.
But that's not healthy.
But I don't give a damn, man. I would have just been turned on that she confident.
Yeah. So Kevin Gates though, that story where she look how far they got before he asked the question.
Right.
I'm not.
She's post-op.
I don't give a listen. The voice. That's one thing. All right, let's just say you look past that. Let's say everything revealed. But when you go down there,
they gotta smell like pussy.
Yeah, it's different. Everything ever documented. Look,
what does pussy smell like when it used to be a dick?
Yeah, you listen, and that's what I'm saying. Everything that ever has been said about the post-op situation is that it is drastically different than anything natural. It's not an approximation. There is a drastic difference. It's dry. Yeah, they from what I heard, if somebody knows more, they can correct me because I'm not educated.
I ain't even heard shit about it.
But from what I've heard is that
watching it.
From what I've heard, they have to sometimes even get surgeries to stop it from closing up. Like it requires continuous maintenance.
Yeah, because somebody out there beating down a fake hole.
So
no, like literally, sometimes you have to keep it open.
Yeah, because it will close up. It's not natural.
It will heal.
Yeah, it'll heal.
I don't want to hear that. She's crazy.
Now, so Frank, go give us your take on how this dude even ends up in a situation going down on a woman that's trans, and are you surprised? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Not even remotely.
I wanted to be surprised.
It's Kevin
man, like these new niggas, man.
I knew that nigga was weird when he started wearing that feather.
Huh?
I knew that nigga was weird when he started wearing that feather and his hair straight. Once that nigga started putting that pick on moisturizer in his hair, I knew something was up, but I didn't think this nigga would go straight and eat in. No. I'm sorry. Go.
Rosie said she modeled with a trans person, and they said they inserted a retainer to prevent it from closing.
A retainer?
Yeah.
He said a retainer.
Just like you have a retainer to keep your teeth closed,
from shifting,
they got a retainer to keep that hole open.
I don't see how. See, now this is me. I don't see how you look into a transsexual woman's eyes and not know that you're not looking to a man. It just hits different when I look into your eyes, Steffi, and then I look at anybody else on this damn podcast. It just hit different. I don't give a damn if you put on a nigga suit. If you gotta put on Nutty Professor suit, it's just gonna hit different. I've seen transsexuals out in the wild, in the public.
He said in the wild.
I've always looked and then looked away because the shit just never hold a nigga attention. Like I've never been in a situation
where the ones that don't have the money for the good enough service.
Oh, fuck that. It's a soul, man. You look at my eyes, this a nigga eyes. These are niggas' eyes. You can know. You look at the niggas' eyes.
Listen, real talk. Listen, I'm gonna push back just a little bit. Yeah, there's one area of the world when you're talking Asians and Latinas, small in stature men, they can at least appear at a glance. I'm just gonna say that much. However, I do believe there's an essence that can't be faked. I truly believe there's an essence about a woman that is biologically born a woman that cannot be fake.
Sure.
I believe that. If I'm
It's
wrong,
called titties.
Yeah,
You can buy titties.
Yeah, but now you can't buy titties with no scars. Next.
I mean, you kind of can.
You really can't buy titties with no scars.
No. You can. You can do a saline drip. It's temporary, but it'll set them girls up.
I need him to go back. I need him to go back.
I need titties that fall the fuck over that's waiting to be nursed. Like, nigga, I don't need no goddamn young titty. I don't want no titties that sitting the fuck up. I want titties that hang. Like, I don't understand these niggas like these days. I want perky titties. No, I want titties that hang the fuck down. I want areola that's wild and got that chippity chut. I don't want nothing. Like, I don't want no woman that's perfect.
Damn,
listen, I remember. Wait, hold on. He said, "I'm going back. I'm going back." When he said, "I've seen a trans woman out in the wild, and they don't even in the wild."
My nigga, that is wild out there, my nigga.
Listen.
I don't want to offend nobody, but bro, that's not the world we live in.
No, real talk. If you've lived in Atlanta, and I've lived in Atlanta, Miami. I've spent a lot of time in Houston. When you've lived in areas, now I haven't been on the West Coast heavy down in California, so I can't attest to that. But there is a level, like 90, I would say 99% of trans. When you look, you know that's what it is. The percentage of those that are passable are so rare that literally you have to have a certain level of access to even be in spaces where they might be, because they're so passable to where they end up in spaces with celebrities and stuff like that. They end up because they're that passable. They are there.
My nigga, how do you not look into bro? If I look into somebody's eyes and doesn't connect, you're not a woman.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this. Go look at that video I did on my YouTube about men on the down low, and look at the trans woman that's giving that interview. You would not be able to tell because
some of them be having me
because let me tell you, it's a heavy set trans woman, right? But when he's telling his story, what said was, when I was born, she said, when I was born, I had a lot of soft features already. She was short, so she's heavy set, and the voice sounds like a woman's voice to a degree. And she said, so I passed so much to where I was in spaces to where dudes never question it. But they're rare. And what I'm saying is those types are the exception, right? Because the trans community is extremely small. And then within the trans community, those that absolutely pass is even smaller, which leads me to believe that Kevin Gates, either she passed and he didn't care.
He didn't care.
I'm thinking he just didn't care. Like, because
nasty.
I don't know, because he asked the question.
Because is this a Bentley or a Rolls Royce? You need to know where the fuck you riding, of course. What the fuck are you doing? He never.
I'm thinking he didn't know.
He knew.
Because for him to not care, but then later ask the question while he's down there, that doesn't.
Well, I think he didn't know, but then when he asked, he really didn't care.
Do you know how scared? Do you know how my heart would be in my stomach if this motherfucker's in my bathroom and just like, yo, I'm a nigga. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of my house. I'm leaving that shit. There's no way.
This is why you don't invite people over your house on no damn first date any day.
Hey, look, that's beyond that. Yo, if your clit is big, if you got a big clit with me, you better have some goddamn all natural titties that hang with stretch marks. I'm talking about areola fucked up. I'm talking about your clit better be. If your clit is big as, if your clit is looking abnormally big, the rest of your body better be fucked up. I'm talking about you better have fupa, big titties with stretch marks. I'm talking about stretch marks on your ass.
They don't leave the clit all big now. They trim it down.
I don't know. I'm talking about the women who I fucked with that got some big clits like this. You can't have no big clit, no flat stomach, and no goddamn perfect titties. I don't want all that shit together. Like, I want a Honda with some goddamn rim.
Bro, if I end up in Facebook jail off this live because of this dude, because he is going
he want a Lexus with a couple of kids.
I just can't believe. It's hard for me to believe that a nigga looking to another nigga. It's hard for me to believe a nigga could look into another nigga eyes and be like, "Yo, bitch, you beautiful. There's no motherfucking way. I'm gonna look at
I
the
don't
guy
know.
like, yo, this
There
is not hitting
are
right.
some trans people out there, like even trans dudes, where if I would run up on them in the mall, I would like have shot my shot and not have known.
I think women transition better to men than men transition to women, because men come
unless they already have those soft features.
men can, because you can hit the weights and come into stature, and that, but a man, listen, there's no way you could take. Imagine this. Me, by the time there was no point in my life where you could have transitioned me, because I've always been at least wide in the shoulders and had a head. You know, there are certain features that you can't change, but I do believe that there are those with features that transition better. And I think with Kevin Gates, he was into what he was into, but when it went down and he realized it, he was just kind of like, "Well, are you?" And then he probably was like, "Well, too late." And you know what? I'm down here now. And I kind of dig it. And I kind of dig it.
Oh, how the fuck do you dig it?
He dig it. He obviously dug it.
Oh, I thought she said you did it.
No,
like
hell no. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that life. Nope.
I mean, you gotta factor in he can't get her pregnant.
Fuck all that, man. It's just the fact that this nigga used to have a
Sheffy is fired. Sheffy is so
what do you
fired.
mean? Like there's no way.
It's a
Sheffy,
way.
you wilding today. You wilding today. You wilding.
It's a way to have your cake and eat it too.
Nah, Sheffy, you wilding today. What is going on?
Man, she trying to get everybody on that poly board.
Man, she laughed at the man getting his feelings hurt when he found the dong. She broke Remy's heart, and now she telling him, "Well, it's okay if you trans, you can't get her pregnant." You
I can't do that shit. That's
kind of the benefit of it. That's
not the benefit. That's the whole fucked up part about it. I'm scared of. I'm scared of people. I'm scared. Look, I'm scared of people who just be so lighthearted about shit like this, because I used to talk, man, shit. I don't like
I'm not lighthearted.
You can't be lighthearted about
no,
that.
she ain't. She's having fun at our expense right now.
I'm scared, man.
If the dude likes it, I love it.
I'm scared for my life, my nigga, because I would be on Facebook Live probably harming somebody if that situation happened. Like, I'm scared for my life in that situation. That's
okay.
So,
No.
Yeah,
I don't believe in being tricked or bamboozled. But what I do believe is that most of men aren't. Most men that engage with them, most of them are not tricked or bamboozled. Most go into these situations knowing. Most that pop off as if they were tricked or bamboozled are really men that wanted to hide it. And they wanted to hide it, and then the woman, the trans woman, brings it out, and then they react, or they react to the possibility or the threat of being exposed when they were just on the DL the whole time anyway. That is the norm.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's the norm more than people actually are willing to confront. That's the actual norm. But I understand.
I'm scared to have look. Let me tell you, I never even dressed out because I'm not taking my pants off no locker room full of niggas. I'm just not gonna do that. Like, it's just certain things, like it's certain moves I'm just not going to. Like, I just don't feel comfortable. Like, I just don't feel comfortable. That shit's weird.
And I get it. I mean, because how I feel about it is pretty much for the people who are comfortable, you know, that's how you rock. That's how you rock. And you do have some dudes that literally like, well, I can't get her pregnant.
I would be so scared if a bitch with titties, a lace front, and a dick came through my door. Do you know how frightened I would be? I'd be like, look, this has got to be the devil. But, you know, I can't because, you know, I don't want to be boycotted. I don't want to be fucked up. But again, that is unnatural, and it's weird as shit. Like, I don't know what the hell Kevin Gates got going on, but
Kevin Gates, man, listen, man, the way that Kevin Gates, like I said, it doesn't surprise a lot of people.
Kevin is living his best life
because he talks really liberally about what he likes to go on and how he likes to get down, and it does not surprise me. If this was Boosie, that would be a shock because he talks way the other way. Kevin Gates, this ain't surprising.
That's why it wouldn't be a shock for me with Boosie.
What? Oh, because the download part. Oh, okay.
It's just
if this was T.I., that would be a shock to me. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, depending on who it was, you know, if it was somebody like that, it would be such a shock because they don't talk about that kind of stuff. They don't go deep, and so it's not a thing for them. So that's where I land on it. Anyway, man, it's 9 o'clock. We can go ahead and wrap this thing up. That's 2 hours of talking, 2 hours of running our mouth. I think we covered all the subjects. Sheffy had a good laugh at our expense today. She absolutely did. Remy, we finna go ahead and shut this thing on down, man. It's 9 o'clock. Everybody get their rest in.
I'm in the car. I'm doing what the hell I gotta do.
I see. I'm finna go ahead, man. I appreciate y'all coming on the live tonight, Remy boy. You're a fool with it, man. You're a fool.
Really,
like,
yo, I'll be nervous.
Love to have you.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Y'all have a good night, and we'll jump back on the next Wednesday.
Bye bye.
All right. Good night, y'all.